Map Dad here. So in the summer of 2018, I had a vacation vision of tons of granite carved into the side of a mountain in a state with fewer people than the county I live in now. I want to go see Mount Rushmore, I told my wife. You go do that, she said, and why don't you take your son while you're at it? So for more than a week, Rapid City, South Dakota would be home. We stayed out by I-90 at a Residence Inn, one of 4 motels connected to the Waikiki Water Park. It's the biggest indoor water park in the Dakotas, for what that's worth. But I tell you, we stopped in more than once after a long day of touring. We started with a nighttime trip to Mount Rushmore. We ate at the Carver's restaurant there. The pot roast was fine. The vanilla ice cream was good. And we didn't sit in the big amphitheater as we waited for the carving to light up. And I'll admit, it wasn't as big as I thought it would be. But admission is good for a week, and we did go back and see it a second time. We would drive more than 1,200 miles, and my then 14-year-old son was a very good sport. Our first drive took us into Wyoming, to Devil's Tower. We got there early enough before the limited amount of parking was packed. It was a fantastic hike around the tower. Then taking back roads to slide oh so briefly into Montana, then back into South Dakota, we made a quick stop in Belle Fourche to see the so-called center of the nation, and then headed to Deadwood, where we ate a burger at Mustang Sally's. Not bad. Now, if you have the stamina, hike up the steep hill, or better yet, get a ride to see Mount Moriah Cemetery, to see the gravestones of Wild Bill Hickok and Calamity Jane. It's the best view of the city, too. A tour of the Adams House followed. Definitely worth it to see how the wealthy in the 19th century lived. I wanted to gamble, but I just didn't get a good gambling vibe, so that money stayed in my pocket. The next day, it was off to the Badlands, which was fascinating and a great place for a teen boy to burn off energy on the trails and climb all over the formations. We also checked out the Minuteman missile silo off the highway and stopped in the world-famous Wall Drug for lunch and the free ice water, which put them on the map decades ago. The roast beef sandwich gets a thumbs up. A trip to Custer State Park is a must to see the buffalo roam and then navigate the winding roads of the Needles Highway. A lot of one-lane tunnels providing some nerve-wracking moments. We stopped to see the Crazy Horse Monument, but didn't pay the extra money to take the bus up closer. We wound up at the Rush Mountain Adventure Park. It's no Disney World, and I first thought $50 for an unlimited ride pass was outrageous, but we had a blast, and we ended up riding the Alpine coaster at least a dozen times. Dinner was back in Rapid City at the Dakota-based burger chain Sickies. Definitely a thumbs up. Day 5 saw us first go to Wind Cave National Park, which was very cool. We then headed south into Nebraska to cross that state off the list. A stop at the Museum of the Fur Trade in Chadron was worth an hour. Lunch at Helen's Pancake and Steak, a mixed bag. The pancake was delicious. The Nebraska Reuben, not so much. A very cool stop on the way back into South Dakota was at the Mammoth site in Hot Springs. Yes, those are real mammoth bones. Dinner and a beer at the Firehouse Brewing Company in downtown Rapid City was good. Be prepared to wait. We also had a chance to check out the Art Alley, which is also worth a few minutes of your time. Day 6, we stayed close to the hotel, checking out Dinosaur Park in Rapid City, a fun 30-minute stop to check out the creatures that were made as part of a public works project back in the 1930s. Lunch was at Cole, K-O-L. I had a delicious bison dish. Now, twice during the trip, we drove through Hills City, which is a small town, very cool, home to the Alpine Inn, where we had lunch. That was very good one day. We saw the multicolored bison in the town of Custer on our way to Jewel Cave. Other good meals in Rapid City. Tally's Silver Spoon downtown, and the Dakota Steakhouse, also out by I-90 and our motel. For pizza, the soon-to-be world-famous Lintz Brothers in Hermosa off State Road 36, out in the middle of nowhere, but it was good. Now, in the end, I'll admit we stayed out maybe a day or two too long, but South Dakota, Nebraska, Wyoming, a fantastic father-son adventure, and really a beautiful part of our country to explore. Thanks for listening. If you get a chance, click on the subscribe button.
That was good.
That was good.
That was good.
That was good.
That was good.